the trick here is getting that belt on the instrument.
I know the problem.
Not easy. Let's see. Yeah, I think I'm going to put a blanket on the floor, so if we need to, we can lay something on the floor. Because I think we may have to do that. I don't know if I told you this or not, but I re-inherited the old Boston upright. Here, take the end of this. Well, my wife's good bread spreads at one time. Okay, let's see. Why don't you pull that down there? We'll lay the bell down on that. We'll get you situated with the body, and then we'll put the bell on the body. Or maybe I'll sit with the body, and you can put the bell on. It's probably easier to do it when somebody's holding it upright.
Wow. Yeah, the one image that's on, on the Conn website, you can barely make out what's on the front of the bell. I mean, it's, it was in a case down in...
It's terribly difficult to photograph.
Wow,
That's impressive, isn't it?
That's just amazing.
I have some very good video footage of that. Taken by a professional photographer. And it's about the only good stuff there is, because every place you put the thing, of course, you've got some kind of reflection going on. But this is really quite something. Okay, so why don't you put that on my body, put that body on my body, and I'll let you wrestle with the bell. Probably this is the best way to just hold on to it while you put the bell on there.
Just so...
It's huge, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Is it going on?
Oh yeah, it's just not around.
Yeah, it's on around it, for sure.
You know what might be easier?
What?
The way I put the ones on. If we put the body down on the floor,
Yeah,
and if we, that'll work better.
let's try it. Lay it flat on the floor?
No, up on one end. Oh man, it's about so big. Yeah.
That's what I do it when I was playing.
It's really not as heavy as I thought it would be.
It actually, I think, balance is a little better than the Belmont.
Oh yeah. Just the bell being farther over, that's all right. You can flip the screen around if you need to.
I'm going to bring it just a little closer and see what we've got here.
Boy, the bell keeps on ringing.
Yes.
That's the one thing I didn't encounter with the King Jumbo. It's despite how big the bell was in comparison to the collar. I don't know, the metal may have been obviously a different composition. But
Yes.
might have been a little thicker around the bell.
So it didn't resonate as much, huh?
No. That's
Play a really big B flat one time. Not bad, is it? As I recall, it responds fairly well.
Oh yeah, it's if this was their like touring production model type thing, I'm sure they put a lot more emphasis on
Yeah.
the quality of the sound.
Well, see, that other body up there is the same body,
Oh yeah.
minus the bell. So I suspect that would have been one that maybe somebody actually played.
Mm-hmm.
This was strictly
Yeah.
an exhibition piece. But, yeah.
I'm just like there's a patent on all like the inside here for to dampen the bell, those pieces up there.
Was that right?
Yeah, and then as like the bracing, all these, there's patents on all that
Really?
because Conn or whoever designed the patents figured out, because the size of the instrument, how thin all the metal is, all that good stuff, they need extra protection, extra dampening. So like on the other jumbo, you don't find like this here or this or the piece that was up here.
Gotcha, yeah. Those are all reinforcements.
Yeah, but I think because after they figured out what's needed or what isn't, and
Yeah,
through testing and everything, where all the nodes, antinodes are to make sure everything sounds correctly.
Yeah.
So this one may actually play better because it has all that stuff in
yeah,
there.
that's right, it probably does. Plus it's 4 valves, the other
Wow.
ones aren't, so.
Yeah, that's the other thing. So let's see, 1, 2, 3. I know on, let's see, can't remember if it's Dan Schultz or Steve Marcus, but one of their 48Ks has one more slide slide than the other one. Which is pretty strange, you know, but it's I think it's this one down here.
For what purpose? What slide is it?
Well, it's one of the. They have like two first. That's on all the models. These are all on all the models. The fourth slide. Yeah, it had two fourths, and there's one here.
Okay.
I mean, this one has it, but then on the back here, it had one there. So it was. I don't know why, but it kind of
Maybe a little more.
Yeah.
A little more of that low stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe it took you all the way down dramatically better in tube.
Yeah.
Most of our fourth valve tubes now don't go all the way down in tube. They really don't. I think we're recording once, by the way. I think I pressed the button inadvertently. I'm standing in front of.
Is there a? Yeah.
Will we bring it to you?
Yeah. I think it's. Oh yeah, it is. No, this is I mean, it's the King model because on the 3-valve King models, the valve tubing is all essentially like this. But on the fourth, when they add the fourth valve, they have to get the because the tubing is, I think, 815 compared to the Conn, which is 773 or about there. They have to expand the third valve slides out in order to fit the fourth valve in.
Mm-hmm.
So they have an extra, there's more gap between here, and there's an extra spit valve there, which is, I saw that on another King Giant, but not the jumbo model. So it was kind of strange. But it works, so just amazed by this. I mean, like, there's the engraving along the inside edge of the bell. It's just pretty cool. I mean, that's not something you normally think about putting something there.
Well, see, this is all for the benefit of the player.
Oh, yeah.
Because these are all mostly naked ladies.
Yeah, the Harvey Hartman's friend Tim, who I think he's from Northern Europe, Sweden, something like that. He has a jumbo King that I saw that has grape leaf engraving on the inside of the bell, but it's really faint because it's everything's detached off of it. The valve section's sitting around somewhere else. Yeah, but it's a great instrument. But this is, as far as I know, there's two 4-valve King jumbos that have 32 inch. No, one has a 32 inch, the other has a 26 inch bell. Oh, which is kind of strange. Huh? Yeah. There's a lot of 48Ks. A guy has one that was originally a rain catcher, but someone did something some time ago and changed it into a bell front, and it only has a 26 inch bell. So a lot of people say the smaller bells sound good, bigger bells better for appearance.
Who knows?
Wait, that's the wrong key, right? There it is. Oh yeah, this responds way better than my Conn. Way better. Oh this is a treat to play.
Be interesting to know just what the weight is of the brass, wouldn't it? I mean, with or without the gold. Because the gold adds something to it, a significant weight, I suppose.
Yeah. And, well, back in the day, they compared to what Anderson silver plating does, I mean, you can request, well, most every manufacturer only does one layer.
Yes.
But back in the day, because everything was less exact, they put in a lot more layers of silver and gold on top of that to make it last.
Yeah, yeah.
So...
Well, this one has been on exhibit a lot. It's been around a lot, long before we got it. So it's kind of banged out, really. It's got, there's missing gold and stuff on it.
Well, yeah, like down here.
Yeah.
This,
But will soon be 100 years old. I mean, we're coming up on that pretty soon.
Oh, yes. This is now the third instrument that I've seen. On some models, there are mother of pearls on the bottom of caps.
Is that right?
Yeah. Like mine has mother of pearls on the top and the bottom. But another guy it's the sister horn, and it's 10 serial numbers away from mine. His has a gold bell and silver body made that way, and has a much more elaborate engraving and all that. But his doesn't have the mother of pearls on the bottom. So even though they were probably sitting right next to each other when they were being built, they were completely like different designs. Even the height of the bell collar in relation to
Is that right?
the top, or how the body, how all this tubing sat in on the rest of it. So it's pretty cool. It's really.
What years are you talking about with those instruments?
1925.
Because this is probably built in late 23. It was this exhibition in 24. So somewhere pretty close to 24 at least. And I guess they were always tinkering, always, adding things to and taking away. And I suppose the players would come in and say, hey, I don't like this and this and this. And they still do that, of course. Very interesting.
Oh.
Have you seen any J.W. Pepper sousaphones?
I've seen a few pictures of them. I've never actually seen like the jumbo or their monster helicons that were supposedly based off of, what Sousa used for the sousaphone. Like, what is it? Is his name, who's the guy? Paul Byerly?
Byerly.
Yeah, Byerly.
Yeah.
Is he the one that has the Pepper sousaphone, or was he the guy that just did the book on Sousa?
He did the book. The guy that had the Pepper sousaphone who compared that with mine here was Lloyd Farrar.
Oh yes, that's who it was. Because in the Christian Science Monitor back in the 20s or whatever, it said, "Oh yeah, Sousa talked with Pepper. Pepper built it, but then Conn later perfected it." So. I've seen a lot of good pictures of that one. It looks to be about the same size as that one.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
Pretty close. They claimed theirs was made in 1893. But Lloyd had figured out that there was a difference someplace in one of the slides. And that was going to define the fact that their sousaphone was the original. So we took them to this national conference together. We roomed together. Put the sousaphones on our bed, side by side. And Lloyd looked at it and he says, no, that's not what I thought it was. so it was still inconclusive, but he would maintain, I don't think he's still alive, he would maintain to this day that they had the original. But then he was hired by J.W. Pepper to develop a historical collection for them. And he was a pretty notable scholar. He's a weird guy, but aren't we all? So he, if we're this passionate about sousaphones, we're all just a little off the rocker somewhere. But it was very interesting. And we played Bombasto together in a demonstration. I played the tuba part, and I played the tune, and he played the tuba part. But that was kind of a fun thing. And I do have, in fact, I think I have here a picture of the Sousa band with 4 rain catchers. Do you want to see it?
Yes, that would be very, very cool. Because I know there's one picture in Paul's book of Sousa's band in the 23 or 24 year, or 24 or 25, with one bell front. Sousaphone.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And as far as I know, that's the only picture of a bell front in his band, because obviously he preferred the upright bells.
Well, this is an interesting picture to me because it's obviously a picture taken intentionally to show the Sousaphone section. But it looks like the two middle ones are E flats.
Yes, it does.
And that I've never seen. Have you?
No. This one's definitely a B flat. It's got the extra middle loop here.
Okay.
It's got a loop there.
But it's smaller.
Yes, he did have, of pictures that I've seen of just the sousaphones, not the players.
Mm-hmm.
He had two jumbos and then three regulars, and one of them might have been an E flat. I can't recall at the moment, but it's different texture of the sound. The bigger ones give you a
Sure.
more organ-like sound. The small ones might be a little bit easier to play, a little more punchy. Yeah.
But this is Conrad.
Mm-hmm.
So that dates that picture, I think, before 1912, because he left the band about 1912, I think.
Mm-hmm. It's just pretty amazing. Can't tell if that's... Yeah, that's an interesting trombone. I'm guessing that's...
Mm-hmm.
Does that have two valves in there?
Yeah, let's see. Do I have anything like that? Yeah, right here.
Oh yeah, so it is. Huh. That's pretty amazing. That's really, really cool.
In fact, I think Lloyd sent these to me. Let's see what else I've got here. I think the rest of them are just duplicates. Yeah, that's just a duplicate there. But, see, at one time, Bill Bell, of course, played in the Sousaphone
Mhm.
section there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure. I don't think this is too early for him, I think. I don't remember any of the names of the other tuba players. Someplace I've got that stuff written down, I think. But there's the shot of Conrad showing he's...
Wow.
I mean, gosh, he's a whole head taller than everybody else.
Wasn't he 6'5", 7? Yeah.
6'7". Yeah. That was a huge man at that time in history, Good.
Oh yeah, it's nearly the start of the recording era, which is about 1903-05 area. Obviously, concert bands were there to play for audiences. There was no, radio to listen to. There wasn't really much going on, so the concert band was the thing to go to.
That was it. I was talking to someone, I don't remember who this was, somebody pretty authentic though, that said they have somewhere, some guy discovered in somebody's basement a bunch of old recordings of the Sousa band, done in about 1930, with his own voice on it. And they're pretty good recordings.
Oh yeah, he did record. Well, from what I've read, he recorded a couple times, but he didn't like it because it didn't give him the right sound that he wanted.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
And some of those recordings were made with just a dozen or 15 people because they couldn't get them into the recording studio.
Well, yeah, the horns, everything had to be pointed at him, yeah.
Recording studio wasn't any bigger than this space probably, back then. So, but this is something very recent. I mean, within the last 6 months or so.
Wow.
So it's if this person was right, that's new material, and they apparently have made some CDs and things with it. So That's something that I'll try and get my hands on at some point, because that would be pretty fascinating. You know, it's just interesting. Even if the sound isn't the same, it's interesting. What tempos did he take?
Yeah,
How did he do things? You know, we don't have a lot of evidence there, except just from some of the men who were in his band, who
Mhm.
then reported later, and we know some of that. Some of his percussion parts were edited by his old bass drummer,
Mhm.
but that's about all we know about that. And those guys probably did some of their own editing with his permission. And the word is that, you know, he would play his marches, and from one day to the next, dynamics would be different, just depending on what he wanted to
Well,
do.
yeah, he's the conductor, he's the leader, you know.
I wrote this, you know. So yeah, pretty interesting. But it was a fascinating era, and so much of this stuff takes us back there, and this is our roots after all.
Yeah.
By the way, that tuba right there, the one in the third slot over, is very similar to the one that Arnold Jacobs used.
What do you mean
The model, it's a Holton.
Oh, you mean based off the York then? Yeah. Because I have one of his instruments.
Do you?
Yeah.
Is it playable?
Yeah. It's the tuba that that silver tuba that I.
Oh, that's the one you use, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was, from what I've been told from the previous guy, Mike Ferries and Floyd Cooley, that's what he used on the ring cycle
Really?
for, I think it was Salty. Yeah. Because his York wasn't giving him the correct bottom, so he switched over to this one, which, I mean, he had multiple.
Yeah, he had lots of options,
Yeah.
So when was that built, do you know?
1966,
Really?
yes.
So who was his tuba maker at that time?
What do you mean?
Well, was it a York?
Oh, no, it's a Holton.
Okay, this is
Yeah.
it. Okay, all right.
It's Holton's copy of the
Of the
York.
yeah, because I was going to say, the York just, the old builders of those good York tubas from way back
Mhm.
were no longer around because that was all sold out 2 or 3 different times.
Mhm.
Well, the Holton, there was some good stuff made there at a certain time.
Yeah, the people that I've read about and talked with, they vary between models because
Yeah.
it wasn't exact copies.
Consistent, yeah.
Some are better than others.
Yeah. Well, that's often true anyway. It really is. You could try 3 different anythings and say, I like this one best. In fact, when my son Michael came home to buy a new English horn, he had 3 of them. And he said, no, I'm not going to tell you what these are or how I feel about any of them, but I want you to sit here and listen to me play some things on each one of these. I want you to tell me which one you like the best. We all agreed on the same one that he liked and that Dan Stolper liked the best. So there was quite a difference in those 3, and they were all the same maker. They were all top-of-the-line instruments. So, go figure. But, when they're handmade.
Well, yeah.
So, the
It's
guy
gonna be
does something
some error,
different. Yeah, that's right. Well, my old Boston that I just re-inherited, there's a long story behind that, I think was made just about 1920. It was a little stubby upright, B-flat, double B-flat, and was made near the end of the Boston Instrument Company's existence. Because they had been a company, well, it had been like many of those, they had been a couple of different owners over the years, but they were founded in 1841 when they were making primarily key bugles, that sort of thing. And then at one time, J.W. York, himself, as the hillbillies would say, made some of their tubas.
Wow.
And that's why it interests me. I'm trying to track that part of it down, because who made this piece,
Yeah.
But when I was playing in the Saginaw Symphony years ago, this 50 years ago, one of the horn players was a guy who bought and sold junk and everything else, and he knew I was kind of looking for an old tuba, and I said, well, what's it like? Well, he told me, and I said, well, how much you want for it? Well, what do you got to trade? You got the old motorcycle tires? I said, no. So I paid $50 for it anyway. And 1964 or so. And I sold it to one of my students at the time, a family of boys, and who was playing in my band.